You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 23rd day of September, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first live broadcast is our live training room. So that one is reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you've not yet taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us in about an hour, he'll walk you through step by step how to take the trial. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today, and you'll get 5 consecutive trading days where we treat you just like you were a member. The upcoming weekend won't count against your 5 days, so don't let that hold you back, and there's no credit card required. And again, you'll have access to everything, not just the live training room, but all the alerts, weekly zones, everything we do, discussion group and Telegram. It's all yours. 5 consecutive trading days, no credit card required. We want you to get the full flavor of who we are and what we do, so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision whether or not trading is right for you. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and we come back for this broadcast. Hang on one second. Okay. We take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the noon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. Everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways you can join the afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. In the email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you got to do is click the link in the email, and it automatically logs you into our platform. The benefit there is you'll have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join live. And some days you'll be busy, so you can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. But all you have to remember is youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,900 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to our neck of the woods, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can actually see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Now, obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to. However, it is a great resource to have at your fingertips. And again, it allows you to see exactly how we've evolved over all these years. youtube.com/CFRN. This is our schedule for each afternoon broadcast. About 1 p.m. Eastern, or an hour into the broadcast, Michael will join us for a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room, do a little live trading on the TradingView platform. Tough morning. Markets are flat. You'll see it when we go to the charts, but it is what it is. You never know what the market's going to hand you, so you just have to be ready to trade what's in front of you. So we'll start with our daily devotional, where we start each and every day. The topic we're on right now: what happens in the end? Something we've all thought about at some point in our life, if not daily. Today's scripture is Matthew 25:41, and I'll share it from the NIV translation. Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Again, Matthew 25, verse 41. The reality of heaven and hell. Heaven and hell are not just metaphors. They are eternal realities. Heaven is the place of perfect joy, peace, and presence with God. Hell is the place of separation, sorrow, and eternal consequence. The Bible makes both very clear. Hell was originally prepared for the devil and his angels. But those who reject Christ will also face the same fate. It is described as a place of unquenchable fire, away from the presence of God. That is why sharing the gospel matters so much. We're not trying to scare people. We are inviting them into life. Heaven, on the other hand, is our hope. There will be no pain, no tears, no death. Just perfect fellowship with Jesus. We will be reunited with loved ones in Christ. We will worship and reign with Him forever. It is kept for us, undefiled and unfading. Let this motivate us to live our lives differently. If we truly believe heaven and hell are real, our prayers, our witness, and our priorities will reflect that. We should rejoice not in our power or success, but in this, that our names are written. I encourage you to thank God for preparing a place for you. Then write down the names of 3 people you want to see in heaven and begin praying daily for their salvation. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, your word reminds us of the seriousness of turning away from you. Keep our hearts humble and obedient, so we never hear the words, "Depart from me." Instead, draw us closer each day, that we may walk in love, serve others faithfully, and remain in the light of Christ. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Tuesday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently, the Dow is up 13 points. Yep, 13. Not a lot. The Nasdaq's down 92. And for the Nasdaq, not a lot. S&P 500 down 15. Not a lot. The Russell 2000 up 14. Once again, not a lot. And of course, the dreaded mixed markets. As futures traders, we like to see the 4 major indices all the same color. It doesn't matter if they're all 4 red or all 4 green. Because with futures, you can be long, short, long again, all in the same hour if that's what the chart in front of you tells you to do. But when the markets are divided, as they are right now, it's kind of like a tug of war. You don't get the same nice follow through on your trades that you do when they are all the same color. In the commodity basket, crude oil kind of on a tear this week, up $1.35, trading 63.63 last. That's a gain of well over 2%. Gold hitting all-time highs again, up $36.60, trading $3,811.60 last, a gain of almost 1%. Silver up 36 cents, trading $44.58 last. That's a gain of almost 1%. Now, again, silver's at $44.56. Silver's been to $50 twice in all of history. So to say this is not a big deal would be, well, kind of foolish, but it is indeed a big deal. Now, I've preached to you for years that important prices, important areas are almost always tested. I was calling for us to hit $50 back 2 years ago. Obviously, I was a man ahead of his time. But it definitely looks like we're headed in that direction. Now, will we simply get rejected and sent back to $5, as has happened in the past? Or will the third time be the time that we actually break through the $50 mark into uncharted territory where man has never traded before, And then on the retracement, that $50 resistance actually becomes support. That's how I'd love to see it play out, and so would many others. But I guess we'll just have to be patient and see what happens. And that noise you heard there in the background, that is an alert. I set some alerts in TradingView. I'm working on a couple different things, and so if you hear that little random noise throughout the broadcast, don't pay it any attention. I'll try to remember to turn them off before tomorrow's broadcast. Or maybe I'll leave them on. Maybe I'll even show you what they're alerting me to, because you might want to make use of them yourself. In fact, I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll explain to you exactly what I'm alerting myself to and why, and then you can see if that this might work for you. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 447 points, 1%. Shanghai dropped 6. The Hang Seng dropped 185. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 3. The DAX up 84. The CAC up 41. With the exception of the Nikkei, everything pretty much everywhere. Nikkei and crude are about the only things showing any signs of life. We had a mixed day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. And at the moment, it is a mixed Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. The question is, by the close today, will it still be mixed, or will it be all red? Remember, the Dow's only into the green by 11 points. The Russell is into the green by 15, and for the Russell, that's, a little over half of 1%. So I will say this, how we close today will be very important as to what we see the rest of the week. All right, there you have the numbers from around the world. Let's look at the news. Federal officials yesterday announced a possible association between the development of autism and a pregnant individual's use of acetaminophen, the active ingredient in the common over-the-counter pain reliever, Tylenol. They recommended pregnant individuals limit use of the drug to cases such as high fever or severe pain. I mean, if you truly have severe pain, there's a lot of other things available that don't have acetaminophen. The FDA said it will update safety labels with the risk of acetaminophen. However, the agency added, while there may be an association between autism and the drug, current scientific evidence has not established a causal relationship. Scientists have researched a potential link between autism and acetaminophen for years, but studies have delivered mixed results. The FDA also approved leucovorin as a possible treatment for autism symptoms. Autism, which we all know is on the rise, like on steroids on the rise. There goes that trigger again. Autism is a developmental condition affecting how people communicate, interact socially, and process information. Reported autism diagnoses in the U.S. have risen since 2000, with about 1 in 31 children and 1 in 45 adults diagnosed today. Factors include improved diagnostic criteria and expanded screening. Okay. The White House yesterday outlined a preliminary deal to place TikTok's U.S. operations under American control, with some of the country's largest tech and media companies at the helm. Well, that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, right? The move seeks to avert a ban on the Chinese-owned social media app over national security and privacy concerns. Under the proposal, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, would license its content recommendation algorithm to a U.S. investor group that includes private equity firm Silver Lake and software giant Oracle. Oracle would also oversee platform security and the algorithm. Over the weekend, President Trump said Dell CEO Michael Dell and Fox Corporation leaders Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch are likely involved in the deal too. ByteDance would reportedly hold one seat on U.S. TikTok's 7-member board. Trump is expected this week to delay a TikTok ban for the 5th time as ByteDance and U.S. investors finalize a deal. Now, I think we talked about this briefly yesterday, but there's a lot of content on TikTok that TikTok allows American youth and the American population to see that they don't allow their own people to see. Now, if that doesn't smell like day-old trout, I don't know what does. With all the brilliant minds we have in America, I just find it very hard to believe that we could not come up with a software program and develop an algorithm made in America for Americans that has the same attractiveness of TikTok, whatever that is, because I don't use it. I'm not attracted to it. Before TikTok, there was Vine, which you may have never heard of because it kind of died on the vine. But it was the same thing. Except I think they limited their videos to 7 seconds or something, so maybe that was part of the buzzkill. But think about it. From all the guys at Meta and Google and Microsoft, even Oracle, and all the others, they can't outsmart the Chinese on this. They can't come up with something that seduces people the way TikTok does. Something is very rotten here. And honestly, it smells worse than day-old trout. Moving on. From Bloomberg, President Donald Trump said Democrats must drop their demands for renewing health care subsidies and ending Medicaid cuts before he'll agree to negotiate with congressional leaders at a meeting they planned for Thursday, ratcheting up the risk of an October 1 government shutdown. I say for once, just shut it down. Just do it. We've been threatened with it and threatened with it and threatened with it by the left, by the right, and everybody in the middle. For how many years? Your whole life. Just shut it down. See what happens. We might find ourselves a happier nation. Trump said in a social media post today, after reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep our thriving country open, I have decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive. Go Trump. He added, forward to meeting with them if they get serious about the future of our nation. We must keep the government open and legislate like true patriots, rather than hold American citizens hostage. The president's preconditions upend a Thursday Oval Office meeting that had been planned with Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries. The thought of being in the same room with those two guys at the same time just gives me chills. Republicans need at least 7 Democrats to vote pass a government funding bill in the Senate, giving the minority party leverage in the talks. Hakeem Jeffries said in a social media post, Trump always chickens out. No, Trump always wins. You need to look at the scorecard. The extremists want to shut the government down because they're unwilling to address the Republican healthcare crisis. It's so easy how they can twist that. Financial markets tend to shrug off threats of a shutdown as just more heated Washington rhetoric, given the history of standoffs being resolved at the last minute. Both sides are more dug in this time, so a shutdown is both more likely and more difficult to end. I want to see it happen. Government shuts down. I think you really see gold go to some all-time historic highs, higher than they are today. Silver as well. From Bloomberg Law, the Trump administration is proposing major changes to the selection process for H-1B visas heavily used by the tech industry, basing allocation on skill level and wages offered for a position instead of the current randomized lottery. The proposal released today is the latest effort by President Trump to overhaul the H-1B program, which has become a lightning rod in conservative circles as critics argue that recipients displace American workers. The proposal wouldn't base visa allocation strictly on highest wages offered. Instead, it would assign each prospective worker to 4 wage bands based on Labor Department surveys. If there's not an American capable of filling the job, train them how to do the job. Cut to next article. From Reuters, the U.S. current account deficit contracted by the most on record in the second quarter as a flood of imports subsided. Yay, that's what tariffs are all about. The Commerce Department, it should be made in America for Americans. Made by Americans in America for Americans. Period. We don't need all this plastic Chinese crap. That's 2 days in a row I use that 4-letter word. The Commerce Department's Bureau of Economic Analysis said on Tuesday, today, the current account deficit, which measures the flow of goods, services, and investments into and out of the country, decreased by a record $188.5 billion, or 42.9%, to $251.3 billion, reversing the prior month's jump. That's when Walmart and the other big boxes were front-loading. The Chicago Federal Reserve said today it has combined government and private data into a new estimate of the unemployment rate. Oh, you gotta love this. Okay, now it's not just the government, it's this secretive private data. Into a new estimate of the unemployment rate that would give policymakers faster-moving, twice-monthly updates of a statistic central to the central bank's current interest rate debate. American people are about to get screwed one more time. Powell's going to do as much damage as he possibly can before he leaves office. And that day cannot come soon enough. And as previously mentioned, gold climbing to a fresh record high, with traders weighing China's plan to become a custodian of foreign sovereign gold reserves in a bid to strengthen its standing in the global bullion market. Oh, I don't trust these companies on TV, these American companies, to store my bullion. I'm going to trust China when the stuff hits the fan and I want to redeem because paper fiat money is worthless, and I'm going to wait how many months for a slow boat from China to bring me my bullion? I think this apparently isn't a joke, because Bloomberg's published an article. The People's Bank of China is using the Shanghai Gold Exchange to court central banks in friendly countries to buy bullion and store it within the country's borders, according to people familiar with the matter. The Asian nation is the world's biggest producer and consumer of the precious metal, and the country taking a bigger role in the global bullion market could mean looser import restrictions or a broader role for gold in the financial services sector. Please don't fall for this. Pretty soon, when you're watching Fox News or CNBC or wherever you get your financial news, when they cut to the commercial, instead of those familiar faces that you've always seen hawking the gold and hawking the silver, the aging actors, trying to get one last shot at glory, you're going to see people with names you can't pronounce trying to convince you to call their international toll-free number. Buy some gold, buy some silver, and they'll keep it real safe for you. Okay. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Don't fall for it. You do, ye shall be sorry. How sorry? Sorry as in you just lost all your gold or your money. You never had any gold. You just gave them your money. All right, Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. Currently in week 372. It's a little over 7 years. Over the last 372 weeks, we have issued over 20,500 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Valerie did the recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. So, of course, there'll be some changes throughout the day. So she will update the recap this afternoon, early evening, as she does each and every day. The time she did the recap this morning, since the markets opened Sunday night, we issued a total of 29 alerts. Still waiting on the outcome of 10. That gives us 19 actionable alerts, which 2 or 11% would have been stopped out, again based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Every logic alert has an entry price, long or short, an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, and then most of the time additional targets, and then a final trade to target. The logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session and vice versa. real purpose of the logic alerts is to help you learn how to read a chart. Now, if you think, well, gee, so many of the alerts trigger when I'm not in front of my computer, or when I'm sleeping, or when I'm out running errands. That's okay. You don't have to actually trade them to benefit from them. Use them. Just bring up the alert, bring up your chart, draw the horizontal lines in the appropriate places, the entry, the initial target, the additional targets, and then the final trade to target is always a weekly trading zone. Repeat the process enough times and pretty soon you won't need the alerts, because you'll be able to see where the opportunity is, and you can take advantage of it yourself. Now, 372 weeks, that's a very long time. I was surprised myself the other week when we did the math over 7 years. But 4 or 5 years before there was a Logic 247, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. They're different in a number of ways. I won't go through the whole list of ways, but number one, they don't come out around the clock. They're posted as a static report shortly before the Globex open each evening. With the occasional day I miss it. And when I miss it, I alert everyone via the discussion group. So last night, 5 minutes before the Tuesday session began, all of our traders, all of our trial members had all of these targets. 5 minutes ahead of the open. S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. Now, when we go through these individual charts, you're going to see them, okay, on the chart. Just remember, they were out 5 minutes before the market opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll start where we always do, with the daily chart of the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Does my eye spy a red candle? Gosh, how long has it been since we had one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Been 4 trading sessions, and the day's not over. Okay. Got a new all-time historic high yesterday at 67.56.75. So I'm off of it by 2 ticks over here. Okay. Now we've got, you see that black step line? It is finally on the right side of blue and climbing. On the way up, it was on the left side. Then they were just joined together. But this little retracement today has peeled that black step line off to the right. So what does that mean? It means the price will most likely retrace back to the BBC. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC, stands for bull bear cross. As you can see, the pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. So are we due for a pullback to the BBC? Oh yeah. But we're due for a whole lot more than that. To keep this bull market strong, we need a 24% retracement minimum. That's the shallowest possible Fibonacci retracement. Even better would be a 38 and a 50. That would be absolutely perfect, because that's where everybody else throws in the towel, and you and I are running around picking everything up off the floor, because we know what's about to happen. There's a rocket ship on the launch pad. Now, price tends to fall faster than it rises. Okay, this climb took from April up to today, yesterday so far, September 22nd. But you see, it takes financial commitment for price to rise. Not so for price to fall. That's why price falls faster than it rises. When the institutional traders hit pause on the buy side, price just drops. Okay? Because there's no resistance. And it just goes into, at some point, free fall. But the good news is, as a futures trader, you're able to take advantage of that. An up day or a down day doesn't matter to us, just so the market's moving. And having a trend like down, you got a long way to fall. Yeah. Now, on the way down, will there be retracements? Sure. In an uptrend, are there not down legs? Of course there are. So in a downtrend, will there not be up legs? Of course they will. The good news is we know where to buy. Pretty cool, huh? Yep. Okay, all 30 minutes are all alerts. Both the logic and the concierge trade alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes, just the time frame I chose many years ago, and they say if it's not broke, leave it alone. Now, maybe you choose the 15-minute. Maybe you choose the 4-hour, whatever you choose, stick with it. Don't fall into the trap of hopscotching around, because this time frame might work today and tomorrow it doesn't work. So you go find the time frame that looks like it might work, and then next thing you know, you're in the hole. Pick it, stick with it, learn its characteristics. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. The goal is simply to have more good days than bad days, right? Now, the vertical line separates today, Tuesday. Over here is Monday. And these are the weekly trading zones, which are published every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. This zone is 6738/39. This is 6712/13. This is 6759/60. I just put one of the lines because after 15 and a half years of publishing these zones, I know that there's 2 digits there, 38/39. I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. This is probably as clean a chart as you'll ever see. When price rallies up to a weekly zone, we look for resistance. When it drops to a weekly zone, we look for support until proven otherwise. Now, we opened here last night and just went flat all the way across. And this was the 9:30 Wall Street opening candle, okay? Typically the biggest candle of the session. Was it yesterday? Arguably. This one here is pretty close. But quite often, the 9:30 opening candle is comically huge compared to the rest of the 30-minute candles. So anyway, we just roll sideways above the VVC, and then off the 9:30 open, we ran up, we tagged. Now, right there where blue turned to red, that wasn't a whole number. So I had to drop below to the next whole number, 67.57. and we ran up to 56.50. So it looks like we hit it. We missed it by 2 ticks. I'll try to do better. Now we're below the BBC. We did have a double bottom going on, this candle and this candle. We've now spiked that area, but we haven't closed below it. Okay. Now, where's the potential support? It's right here. See that little wick pick sticking up and this little wick sticking down? So that crack right in the middle, the crevice, okay, that's an important price, important area. This candle tried to go higher, but couldn't. This candle tried to go lower, but couldn't. And if you look at the Logic 247 alerts, this area right here, 67.43, that was one of the potential supports last night. Okay? Or it might have been the initial target. However it worked out, or I may have gone a little bit lower. I may have started it down here I may have gone down to 41 to 39. But we got red and falling overhead. We're below the BBC. So, all things considered, well, let me ask you, does this chart look like price is more likely to run up to this zone or this zone? Because price is always trying to get to a zone. If it's above the BBC, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. Obviously, it doesn't always make it. If price is below the BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. Obviously, it doesn't always make it. But it's a real nice northern star guiding light to help you stay on the right side of the street. Okay. I think this chart might have stopped charting. Says we're connected. Aha. Well, look there. My chart, for some reason, data had stopped flowing. So remember, we were measuring this area here. Okay. And that's where this low was right here. Remember, just a second ago, we were doing this. If you missed it, you can roll it back and watch it at youtube.com/CFRN later. And we dropped right to the weekly trading zone, taking care of that logic alert that's out there. Now we're doing what the market does 70% of the time when it encounters a weekly zone. Consolidation. 20% of the time is rejection. 10% of the time, the slice. Okay? So, now I ask you the question, does this chart look more like price is going to head lower or head higher? I didn't realize my data had stopped flowing on this chart, but we just answered the question. Obviously, it looked like price was going to attempt lower, and what did it do? It attempted lower. It traded lower. And that low right there, I don't see, buyers came in just ahead of this low right here. We're still below the BBC. We still have red and falling overhead. We're straddling the zone at 38.39. I'm going to suggest lower prices are in order, but we'll see. Here's where the Dow opened last night. Now, is this candle moving? Yep, this candle's fine. Here's where we open. We're above the BBC, so we expect higher prices. So we run up to the weekly zone resistance, which sends us to the BBC support, which sends us to the zone resistance, which sends us to the BBC support. And this time, back here was the London Open. We found support, and then bang, we hit the long target. From the long target, we go back to support at the BBC, consolidate for hours at the long target. Then what do? We actually get some big movement off the Dow. And then That's the 9:30 opening candle. That's what I'm talking about, the 9:30 candle often being the largest candle of the day on the 30-minute chart. But it's as if it never happened. Look where we are now. Huh. And where did the market find support? At the zone. It spiked it. Remember, it was resistance, 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 until it became support. That's how these things work. We're below the BBC. We got red and falling overhead. So I would be looking at a short, 46,730 down to 710. And then further down, 46,630 to 610. Those are both great windows of opportunity. On the Russell, here's where we open. We're above the BBC. We attempted higher, but when blue and climbing gets directly above price, it often becomes actual resistance because it's on its way to becoming red and falling. Okay. Now, red and falling kept us glued to that BBC, but we did spike down to 73.9. The zone is 73/74. So if I had both lines on, you would see that we touched the zone. And remember, when price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And when price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. And there it is. Black step line is crossed blue and climbing. We didn't quite get a pullback all the way to the BBC, so I'm going to suggest if we move higher, we run into trouble right here at blue and climbing, and that sends price back down. On the NQ, this was the open last night. We roll sideways, we drop to the BBC, the pullback holds. So we get a leg, a retracement, a leg. Where do we find resistance? At the zone. And then we drop back, and we get another leg, and then 9:30 opening candle takes us all the way down to the weekly trading zone, where we find support, and have continued to find support all day so far during the day session. Just consolidating as we do 70% of the time at the weekly trading zones. If you're not putting the zones on your chart, first thing Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern when they come out, I don't know what you're thinking. At crude oil, as I said earlier, on quite a tear. Here's where we opened last night. Price is trapped between the BBC and red and falling. We drop below the BBC. We head right to the short target and on down to the weekly zone, where we drop just below it. And this area right here becomes support. See this low right here? Which is basically right here where the step line crossed red and falling. Do you see that? That became this support right here. So we get a leg, a retracement, then we get a leg up to the zone, and then we get another leg up to the next zone where we consolidate, and then we get another leg up to this zone. But now price is in retracement mode. It's headed back to the BBC. Now, this will be the first pullback to the BBC since the bullish cross. That's when the blue line gets above the green line. The pullback to the BBC, the first pullback after the bullish cross or bearish cross, typically holds more often than not. Pullback to the BBC, period, holds more often than it doesn't. So, as price gets down into this area, be prepared. It's possible we find support at the BBC, but we spike it just enough to touch the zone, which is $62.95/$63. And the 30-minute BBC right now is at 63.05. Gold, all-time historic high. Now, keep in mind, these are futures, not bullion. There's a little difference in the price. Here's where we opened last night. And in the third 30-minute candle that we run, we don't quite get to, oh, wait, maybe we do. Nope. We hit red and falling, okay, which is potential resistance. And it was. But we had support right here at the black step line. And so we do end up hitting. See, this is 3785.2. So we hit the zone, or the target. And then we spike above it, and then we retrace to the BVC, pull back holes, get a leg and a retracement, pull back holes. Then we get a leg, run into red and falling, but the pull back holes. See how we spiked it? This was a red candle all the way down, just in this current 30-minute candle. But now look where we are. Back above red and falling. Next area of resistance, 38.16, 38.20, 38.21, 38.22. Then back to the all-time high, 38.24.6. Chart tells you everything you need to know. You just got to learn how to read it. That's all. Silver, here's where we opened last night. And we consolidated along the weekly trading zone. And then we dropped through the BBC. And we didn't quite make it to the short target. Okay. We spiked this little area right here. That would have been a great area for potential support. It spiked it though just a little bit, but not enough to get down to the bullish cross where I was looking for the support. Buyers come in, drive us right up to the zone, and on the next candle, the long target. Resistance sends us back to support at the BBC. Next time we trade through the long target, and as so often happens on the retracement, the top of the long target becomes support. Then we catch a bounce up to red and falling, and then we get a pullback right here to the long target. So price is pinched between these two areas, between the BBC and red and falling. Okay, Michael's here. He's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live trading room this morning, and then do a little live trading on the TradingView platform. And I will turn off those alerts in Telegram so that they don't freak Michael out, because he won't know where the noise is coming from or what it's all about. So
it's all good.
All right, looks good.
All right, here we go. So we doubled the range during the break.
Yeah.
So that's good. It did something. I figured the European markets were going to close. It opened it up a little bit for us. All right. So here we go. All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd day. The 23rd day of September, 2025. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Here's your purple button right there. Click on that. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button. It's going to bring you to this registration page. On the registration page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, give us your TradingView login ID. Now, if you do not have one yet, click on this link right here and watch the video. Go get a TradingView login ID. Make sure you get real-time data. All right. If you're going to bother with the ID, you got to get the real-time data. The data costs $7 a month. That does not go to us. That goes to TradingView. Actually, it goes to the exchange. Hang on. I don't know if you know you got an open mic. So I'll just quiet it down for you.
Muted.
There you go. And that's all I have to do. All right. Once you do that, then we'll know that you took the trial. Give us that information. We'll know you took the trial. We'll get your indicators indicating on your desktop for you. Now, today was almost a blue day. The last three trades, I guess, at the end is what got us from negative to positive. So we were only up 107.50. Now, we did get our goal for the day after 5 minutes in one trade. And then we traded another 23 times, only to lose a little bit of money. After 5 minutes in one trade, we're at $125 a contract at $1,250 with 10 contracts on. Then we traded 23 more times, and we ended up losing $20, just about. Today just wasn't a great trading day. I'll get into it all in just a minute, but we ended up with minus 51 on the NQ, plus 23 on the YM, plus 16 on gold, and plus 7 on the ES. We're at 107.5 on the morning session. On the month now, we're at 14,422. So we are above last month's at this point, and we still have, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 business days left. So getting above the next highest one, getting above June would be good. Now, we took time off last month to go up to Connecticut. And I believe we took time off in June too, so that's why those months are so far off. All right. Anyway, on the month we're at 11,400. $11,422, and on the year we're at $195,867, averaging $1,201 per day on the year, $713 per day on the month. If you were to add one contract per month and quit trading when you get the goal for the day, so far this year you would have had to work 22.5 hours so far, and you'd be up $132,534, averaging $5,912 per hour. If you did it just like me, $5,912 per hour. All right, so let's get into it. We're just going to start from gold and work our way across. Now, on the gold, we had a handful of trades here. All right, this was our first one right here. First trade on gold was right here. We picked up 5 ticks on that, and we promptly stopped out. What is it, minus 10? Then here we picked up 5 more to get us to minus 5, and then we picked up, I think 16 there to get us to plus 11. And then we picked up 5 more here to get us to plus 16, and that's where we ended. Now, the markets were really flat during the morning session. Dwayne, I'm sure, probably went over this with you, but we only had 13 points range here in the morning session. Okay, after the morning session finished up, then we had doubled our range on the day. I mean, right now we have 25 points range, just a little better than 25 points range. So it's just about double the range that we had in the morning session, right? I figured when European markets closed, we'd get a little more action. So that was a good thing, but let's see when European markets closed. Let's see how many trades we actually got when they closed, valid trades. Looks like there was one right there that would have been a break even. That would have stopped out. One right there that would have gapped down and given you all 25 ticks. One right there that would have been profitable. One right there that would have been profitable. One right there that would have been profitable. And that's all. So the gold had a pretty good run here during the break. We had one stop out with 3 very profitable trades. The YM, we did pretty well with the YM starting out. And then the YM is where we got the goal for the day, I believe. Yeah, the very first trade on the YM was right here. Picked up 25 ticks on that guy right there. Then we added 10 more with that one, got us to 35, and 1 more with that, got us to 36. And then we stopped out. And then we stopped out again. And that put us down to 6. From 36 down to 6. To break even there, and then we started to get it back a little bit. We went from 6 up to 16, and then 16 up to 23. And that was where we wrapped it up with the YM this morning. There was a huge move down here when the European markets closed. Huge move down. No trade there. That was a trade there. That was borderline trade there. No trade there. Trade there. So 3 trades here would have been good. This huge move down. And then started going the other direction. This would have been a long trade right here. That would have worked out. And then going back in the opposite direction. So you had a down close right there, but it didn't pull out of the overbought. This right here would have been a trade. That was the most recent one. You would have a successful trade right there. So the YM did pretty well during the break. The ES now. On the ES, let's go. Oh, this is the whole ES right here. This whole day on the ES. All right, we started out with +8 at a break even, then went to 12. Then we stopped out. That brought us down to 2. And then we had a +5 there. Got us to 7. And that was it on the ES. Now, during the break, there was a down close right here. Worked out pretty well. That one, there was one tick above. Actually, it was this one you would have taken. That would have been okay to take right there. This one right here would have also been okay. So that was a gap down. Should have gotten some profit on that one. And you would have gotten some profit on that one. And then the next one, that wasn't valid. That wasn't valid. You would have been going for longs in here anyway. And that was it. So we had a couple of profitable trades there during the break on the ES. It's better than yesterday. We came 1 tick away from all-time highs in here this morning. This blue line is the high, the all-time high. Let's see, we came. Actually, we did actually. Was that today? No, that was yesterday. We put that in yesterday, right here at the end of the session yesterday. Came very close to hitting it again, but there are sellers up there. Sellers up there. At the all-time high. All right, now the NQ, which was our nemesis today. Was our Achilles heel today. Normally it is not. First trade on the NQ, we stopped out -25. We had a break even, another break even. Then right here we picked up, it looks like probably 16 ticks to get us to -9. That was the high of the day for us on the NQ right there. And we stopped out again to -34, had a break even, then another stop out to -59. And then we picked up 8 ticks right there to get us to -51. And that was it on the NQ. Let's see. There was one long trade right there that would have stopped out during the break. A long trade right here that would have stopped out during the break. Boy, I had a rough time today. A short trade right there that would have worked out. A long trade right here that would have worked out. A long trade right there that would have worked out. A short trade right here that worked out very nicely. A short trade here that would have worked out, and nothing right now. So it was a rocky road today with the NQ. It's just the way it turned out. You know, you can't have great days every single day. That's why we trade multiple markets. If one's not working out, usually there'll be another one that makes up for it. All right. Let's look in the question box. There are no questions at this juncture. Okay, so we'll just see if we have any trades we can take in here. Let's say can't connect. Something wrong with that thing. All right, so on the gold, we have a green background, so we're going to be looking for long trades in there. We'll be looking for long trades in there. We have red everywhere else, so we're going to be looking for shorts, but nothing's set up completely. We need an up close followed by a down close on the ES. Up close followed by a down close on the ES. Okay. All right. so Mondays. All right, we need an up close followed by a down close here. We are in the overbought, but we're too far away from the midpoint on the NQ. We don't have anything we can do here on the YM right at the moment. Okay, so we just have to wait a couple of minutes. Something will come out. All right, let's go see this. Better than yesterday. It's gonna be a long-term hold. I've been holding it for years and adding to it for years. Every day, dollar cost average. All right, now this is not a trade here on the S because it didn't come out of the overbought. Nothing. We need a down close followed by an up close on the gold. We're getting closer to a trade here on the YM and closer to a trade here on the ES. They've all gone the full cycle. They need to get back into the overbought and give us a trade. Okay, we have nothing here though on the gold. Nothing. Okay, 726. We could have a trade here on the YM right now. Let me just find my YM dumb if I can. Okay, so we're looking for a down close here on the YM now. And a down close over there on the NQ. Oops. That was close. All right. A down close on the YM and down close on the NQ. Those are the two trades we're looking for. Okay, the YM did not give it yet. We'll still have another chance on the next bar, but the NQ just didn't give it. Okay, so the NQ's got the down close. Here it is. My stop's going to break even. Gonna lock in 4, 8, 12. And we're out with 12. So we had profitable trade there. Now, the NQ was our nemesis today, so it's good to have profitable trade on it. The YM's got a high of 32. Cancel the other waiting over there, and we'll put another one on in the appropriate place. The ES needs an up close followed by a down close. Okay, the NQ needs a down close followed by 2 up closes followed by a down close. Gold needs a down close followed by an up close. So you can figure this stuff out ahead of time because you know these are range bars. You know what this is going to do based upon the up down close of the range bar. You know the range bars have to close either at the top or the bottom, so you know exactly what to look for. And here it is on the YM. Here it is on the YM. I'm pretty sure I should add my stop break. It's low on that. 19. Nope, I guess not. That's only 4 ticks. It's going to get down to 18. There it goes. Stop to break even now. Okay. And the NQ is still going down. I'm going to lock in just a little profit on this YM. And it should make it all the way down to 694, down to here. Where it should go down to. There it goes. Plug in 5 on that. 694 right here is where it should go down to. Right, got my 25 tick target on there, but it should go all the way down to 694. There's 10 ticks. I'm going to go a little further than I'm going to lock in 10. There's 10. 12. It should get down to all 25 right here. My stop is right up above this. Actually, it's not. My stop is well below that. All right. Well, we got 12. Okay, so that was a pretty easy trade to see and take with me. We don't have anything here on the ES yet. We need an up close. Actually, an up close isn't going to be good enough. We need 2 up closes followed by a down close. Right. So we've had 2 pretty easy trades so far in this session. The morning was not that easy. And Europeans complicated it on us today. Need an up close on the gold. I think that's one tick low on the gold. Let me just stretch it out and see. It's right on there. It's right on there. So I guess that's an okay trade. Here it is. It's one more tick to go to break even. One more tick. Should go up here to 15.2. There it goes. Hey, why don't you go to break even? Oh, it didn't fill me. That's why. I never got filled. All right, well, I guess I'll cancel that over. I didn't get filled on that one. All right, on the NQ now, we need an up close followed by a down close. All right, so no trades. No trades. We've got about 10 minutes left, guys. We have 2 trades that we've taken. Both are profitable. And we don't have any others right now that are sitting up. Gold is pretty close, but I don't think it's going to work out. it can't go any lower. If you get an up close on this right now, it would be an okay trade on gold if you get an up close on this. But it can't go any lower than where it is. Everything else is in the red. So let's see what happens with the gold. With the gold. All right, there's the up close on the gold. Okay. Yeah, I think I had a pretty good entry on that, don't I? Yeah, I do. Like exactly the right entry. So here's the up close on the gold. We could get something here on the YM. We could get something on any one of these indices. We still have 9 minutes left, so anything could happen here. And the gold is going to break even. Okay, well, I'll get one tick on. And we're out with the one. I had a feeling it was just snapping up before it comes back down. So anyway, we now have 3 trades, and all 3 are profitable. The YM is just about good a trade here. Okay, let's just hit it. There it is. Now it just needs a down close. It's got a high of 708, 46,700. I wonder if that's going to become something. Probably not. But we need a down close here on the YM. We still need a down close here on the YM. All right. Nothing on the YM. It's gone too high now, so cancel that order. Nothing on the NQ. That's gone too high. The ES is the only one that might give us something. The gold ended up being a really nice trade. But the ES is the only thing that might end up giving us something right here. Can't do anything with that. Too bad we couldn't get that gap down there on the NQ. Wasn't a valid trade. This last one needs to do the full cycle. Now it's done the full cycle. We had a gap down on all 3 of the indices right here. I guess Powell's speaking now, isn't he? I'm sure that's what's supposed to be happening right now.
Unmuted.
Econ calendar.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Powell's speech, 12:35. Actually, he spoke an hour ago.
Yeah, he's probably done.
Well, they were supposed to be doing, I guess they were supposed to be doing some sort of a interview after the speech or something like that. Maybe that's what's causing this. I don't know. Who knows? But so far we have 3 profitable trades. So far. almost one here. It didn't hit the midpoint. All right. So Dwayne.
Yep.
I did something during the break because I hadn't eaten anything yet today. So I weighed myself before I ate something. Then I cooked what I was going to eat. And I weighed myself holding it. Then I ate it. And I weighed more after I ate it than I did when I was holding it. It didn't seem to make any sense at all.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
I thought, I was thinking, my body would just do its magic and make some of it go away. But it actually added to it. It's weird. I have to try that again.
Interesting.
And it was like a half a pound more too. It wasn't just a little bit. The stuff that I ate was 0.6 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And
so after you ate it, you weighed how much more?
I weighed 1.5 pounds more.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. We have to test that again sometime. Better sample set.
Ask AI.
Yeah, I guess I could ask ChatGPT. Did you see NVIDIA's teaming up with ChatGPT, OpenAI, $100 billion?
Yeah.
That's something. That's a lot of money. It's just, really, it's just a bunch of numbers on paper to them now.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't even mean anything. It's not like it's cash in their pocket. But this makes the world go around, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was reading the comments during the break of Trump's comments to the UN. Great potential, but you're just screwing it up. It's basically what he said. Making things worse instead of better.
Yeah, he's not too happy with those guys.
No. Wasn't UNICEF one of the things that was part of that? Just give money away for nothing. I might be mixing things up.
Not sure what UNICEF.
I think that was one of the things that got cut. All right, on the gold, we are in the oversold. We just need to come down and bounce off the midpoint. All three of the indices gap down. The YM filled the gap. The ES has not filled the gap, and the NQ has not filled the gap. The YM filled it right away. So we have a chance here on the gold, on this very bar on the gold. We hit the midpoint and then close up. Okay, that could happen. Could happen right now. Could happen. As a matter of fact, if this bar does close down, I would bet that the next bar is going to close up. So much so that you could even buy it right here. That bar should close up and go straight there on the gold right now. The NQ is almost going to trade. It's almost pulled all the way back up to test the midpoint. And we are just about out of time. I just realized. Just about out of time. Time flies when you have trade setups. 15 seconds. We almost have trades in two places. Almost. Nope, neither one of them gave it. And we're just about out of time now. So I'll do this. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button. And when you do, you're going to be brought to this registration page. Well, the answer is your name, your email, and your phone number. Give us that info, and we'll get you set up so you can get in the room with us to start trading in the morning. That's it. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yep. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 5 minutes and one trade to make it to $1,250 with 10 contracts on.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we made it through all the markets in a granular fashion. If you missed any of it, in about 45 minutes, go to youtube.com/CFRN and you can watch today's entire broadcast in its entirety. If you want to become a member, email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. In the email, just let her know you want to become a member. She'll send you all the information you need to become a member. Once you become a member, she'll then send you a lot more information. Some of it you won't understand, you won't know what to do with. That's okay. Just create a folder in your email client and just put everything she sends you in that folder. As your learning journey begins, you'll need it all, and bit by bit you'll understand what it's all about and why you need it. Okay? As a passport holder, you'll get 2 hours of live training every trading day in our live training room. It's an interactive environment. On top of that, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring. All you got to do is ask. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Stocks, futures, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle, just as I showed you today and as I show you each and every day on this afternoon broadcast. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. Those are designed to help you learn how to read the chart. You simply got to do the work. Doesn't matter whether you actually trade them or not. Bring up the alert, bring up the appropriate chart, draw the horizontal lines. Before you know it, it'll all make sense. Pretty soon, you won't even need the alerts. As a passport holder, you'll get the concierge trade alerts the second they're published each evening, typically 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open. Every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you'll get the weekly trading zones. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. And every Thursday afternoon, you'll get an invitation to attend the members-only workshop Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Just email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Let's wrap it up with our good word for today. Will you be made whole? When Jesus saw him, he said to him, do you want to be made well? John 5:6. For 38 years, this paralyzed man waited amongst the sick and disabled at the pool of Bethesda for a supernatural moment that could change his miserable existence. But each time, someone got into the pool before him and walked away healed. Time after time, when the opportunity came, there was no one there for him. The story was always the same. He couldn't rescue himself from his pool of despair. and his dwindling stock of hope and faith. Perhaps you can identify. Perhaps you know the story from personal experience. It may be about bodily illness, but it can also be about things like moral failure, addiction, divorce, abortion, remorse, parenting failure. Like the man by the pool, your friends can't rescue you, and you don't have what it takes to lift yourself up by your own bootstraps. But Jesus asks you the same question. Will you be made whole? He offers you bodily healing and more. He knows that you can't do it by yourself. So when he asks, will you be made whole? It's more than, do you want to be made whole? It's a question of your will. For things to be different, you must invest your will in the process. The faith that will make you whole is not an emotion or feeling. It's an act of your will that chooses to stand on God's word, believing he will do for you what he says and make you whole. As we read in verse 9 of that scripture, immediately the man was made well, took up his bed, and walked. That can be your story too. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.